that it was arguing. He thought, that's what's supposed to go on in a marriage. And when I witnessed something when we went to go pick up the kids, I'm like, this is toxic, babe.
So y'all both saw what each other went through with the exes.
Yeah.
Do you get along with his ex?
Next question.
Moving. The way your face just got razor sharp. Look, if you ain't been in cuffs, you doing all right. If you, oh shit.
Well, darling, there's only one God. Darling,
Welcome to the Dirty Bag Podcast. I'm your host, Cookie, and as always, thank you for joining me today. You could be anywhere listening to anybody, but you're here with your girl, got another boss in the building. So I love beauty. I absolutely shouted this beautiful sister out for contributing to our swag bag at the first live event. So she is the owner of GGK Lipstick Diary. GGK Lipstick Diary, because I'm going to get tongue-tied because I can't talk worth a damn. Domestic violence advocate, author, speaker, Shawna Mills. How you doing, sis?
Hey. I'm doing good.
Finally, I gotta sing you in.
Yes.
You here with me.
Hey.
I gotta make folks uncomfortable. How you been?
I'm already comfortable because we already met each other like what, 3 times?
We are Forbes Black family.
Yes.
First of all, if y'all don't know, Forbes Black is essentially bringing thousands of Black folks together to brag about what they do for a living.
I wasn't ready for that part.
Everybody, we showcase our excellence in the
Yes.
biggest, most boisterous way possible.
Yes, we do.
But in that bunch, you found a couple of real ones.
Yes.
And we met at the whitest place possible, a NASCAR event.
But it was dope though.
Baby, we was
had
in
a
the
good,
heat.
Yeah, but we had a good time.
They thought we were celebrities.
They did, and I soaked it up.
Y'all, we walked the red carpet. Because at NASCAR, there is a red carpet before the event starts. And typically, there's a lack of melanin in the space. So as we walk in, there's fireworks going off, and we all got on glasses. So people are trying to figure out, who are the Negroes? It's a little slave auction? Or they just trying... I'm just playing, y'all.
Especially when we was by the Bubba truck and when we was taking them
my
pictures,
goodness.
girl. They thought we was somebody special. We are though.
We
are.
And is. So it was from that we connected. Sometimes you find one sister that's like, okay, you a real one. I can rock with you.
Yes.
Because
Your
where are you
vibe was
from?
dope.
Where are you from
I'm
originally?
originally from Michigan.
See,
Saginaw. What up?
Michigan and St. Louis folks, I don't know what it is about us. When we meet in Dallas, we get along like really well.
We do.
I'm not sure what it is though. Maybe it's that.
But it's crazy because before we even know where we from, we just click, we vibe. And then we be like, hold on, where you from? Oh, that's why we clicking.
But we was also both hungry and they didn't have no food for us at first. So you can tell
was
what
looking
sisters
for
don't
the-
play about no food. We was up here trying to steal biscuits.
At least y'all got the
We
food.
got some chicken.
I had to pay for the food, okay?
Y'all mean to tell me y'all got a spread of mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese,
Fried chicken.
and y'all ain't feeding this group of Negroes? Make it
Yes.
make sense. Y'all want us to riot. We
But-
didn't know, but
But we made it happen, though. We made it happen. We got
Yes.
that food.
We did. So let's get into it. You combine two worlds that we don't hear people marry enough. So you have your beauty brand, which I'm wearing her lip, by the way.
Yeah.
Don't I look luscious?
And do.
The lips is lipping. They look good. So you have the cosmetic brand, but you're a domestic violence advocate.
Yes.
And you bring them two together. So how did
Yes.
that happen?
So when I was in school, I never liked makeup. I was a tomboy. Let's just keep it real. I was a tomboy wearing Dockers.
You wore Dockers?
Yeah.
I know you ain't finna skip over that.
Yes, I wore Dockers. Okay? I know it's hard to believe, but yes. And buttons up, okay? People tried to get me to wear the Dickies and it wasn't happening. I liked it, my Dockers, okay?
Okay, you was the only one. I'm joking. Go ahead. That's okay. It's okay.
Yes, but I did not like makeup. Not until I got older. Like when I got older, I started liking makeup, and I really got into it when my daughter made me enter a pageant. Okay.
Oh.
And when pageant queens, you a pageant queen, you gotta get the
full glam experience.
The full glam experience.
Yeah.
And so that's how my business started.
Okay.
Now before I did my business, I was a nurse in the military. I was a nurse in the military. I went to the police academy. And then my husband joined the Army and he ended up getting deployed. So I didn't get to explore the police academy experience. That's when all the killings was going on at that time. So my husband
You was gonna be a cop?
sure was.
Jesus.
Because I think it was more as people were telling me that I couldn't do it because I was short and, you're not the cop type. And me personally, you can't tell me what I can't do.
Okay.
So, and then even my dad was telling me, like, you don't need to be a cop. And I was like, when I got older, I'm like, I found my voice, like, other people can't tell me what I can't do,
Right.
because I know what I'm capable of. So, yeah, when my husband deployed, I ended up going to the police academy because spouses get money while the husband is deployed to finish education. So I did that, and then my brother ended up passing away. And so he's been gone for 8 years now. And so let's fast forward to the business. I joined the pageant, and I was like, I'm not working. I'm at home. My husband is deployed. I need to find something for me. I need to get into something that's more impactful, that's going to be beneficial. And I end up telling my story. I was a domestic violence victim. I was in a very, very rough, toxic relationship. And actually, it was in Arizona. I was in Arizona. My daughter was born there. And after me and him divorced, I moved back to Michigan. And then my husband deployed. We moved back to Arizona. But it was that type of thing where to move to Arizona to prove to myself, because I was in a toxic relationship in the beginning when I stayed in Arizona, I didn't get to explore Arizona the way I wanted to. Because when you're in a domestic violence relationship, you tend to be isolated from people.
Right. People don't understand that.
Right.
Dealing with victims.
Yes.
For real.
You tend to be isolated. It's two things. It's he isolates you, for one, and two, you kind of isolate yourself because you just don't want people in your business at the time of what you're going through behind closed doors.
Can we get into that? Because what we hear a lot of, and this is typically from people that don't know any better, is why don't you leave? It's y'all fault. Why do you stay? They don't understand the psychological aspect of domestic violence and how it starts.
And that's why I advocate a lot about when you talk to someone that goes through domestic violence or somebody that is trying to get out of it, you never ask those questions. What you doing is holding that person back to even want to stay even longer. And I know it sounds crazy, but they don't realize that they have support because of the questions that you ask. So you have to be mindful what you saying to a person that's been in a domestic violence situation or trying to get out of a domestic violence situation. And I hear it all the time. Why I wouldn't stay. Oh, you stupid. Are you crazy? You don't know what you would have done if you never been in that position.
I say every woman that's been a victim of domestic violence at some point either thought it would never be me,
yes,
or that consider herself to be intelligent and strong. Like, we don't understand that you don't meet somebody, go on the first date, and get your head knocked between a washer and dryer. Like, that's not how this process actually works.
Yes.
It is, and I say that abusers, they groom their supporters just as much as they groom their victims.
Yes.
When I was younger and I was with my son's father, and I was happy about having this ring and being engaged, but I was going through hell. And the thing is, he was such a charismatic person. Like, his grandparents, his family loved him so much that they wasn't trying to hear that.
No.
And I remember going to his grandfather's funeral and his uncle pulling me to the side and saying, like, Cookie, it's time for you to be a part of our family. Like, y'all need to go ahead and get married. I'm like, boy, do you know what this clown doing? And he was like, nobody's perfect. And this is, so people that don't want to accept the fact that they have an abusive nephew, son, or whatever will say, nobody's perfect.
Exactly.
My wife didn't like me at first. I'm like, well, were you dragging her? Like,
Exactly.
tell me what's going on. So you are right. People giving advice, it's a delicate situation. And you got to be careful because your judgmental,
will hold a person back.
They're like, I guess it ain't that bad since the way they let me just go stay. But
and then they do. And victims tend to stay with their abusers or go back to their abuser 7 times before deciding to actually leave. But my thing is, you can have a plan, but you need a push too. You just can't have a plan. You have to have a push. Baby, I tell people all the time, do it for your kids because your kids see that. You think your kids don't see what's going on? They do. And that's another problem. We keep our kids from seeing the bad. We don't educate our young kids for toxic relationships because we think we're protecting them.
Yeah.
But by the time they get up to age, they don't know the difference between toxic love and a real relationship. So my job in the community is to not only teach, I'm still on my healing journey, okay? I'm still healing. So, but not only to teach us adults, but also teach our young kids about teen dating. Domestic violence is a very touchy subject that we don't talk about a lot, okay? And so what I learned through this journey, because I've been advocating for 5 years. So what I learned on this journey, everybody don't want to talk about it. So it's a lot of people that want to write about it. It's a lot of people that want to sit down and write their thoughts because they're not ready to share that because of the judgment, because of what they think people will say. So that's why I create events every October to show them that they can be heard and they can be seen. And it's okay. Be transparent. It's okay to be transparent. It's support out here. And that's my job to show them that it is support out here. It's success. You can be successful after a toxic relationship. A lot of people think they are so stuck on their past and what they've been through that they think that they can't go after their dreams because they felt like they wasted so many years.
Okay, so and this is especially when you are of a certain age. So you know the era we're in now. Sometimes people use terms like washed up. You too old to be this. You too old to be that. So I do think women sometimes internalize our age and years we wasted in whatever situation. You're remarried now, and you said you're still on your healing journey.
I'm still on my healing journey.
So how did you going through your experience? How did that impact you when you first met your husband? Like, what was that process like of you allowing your heart to open up again?
So I was still, I don't like to use the word broken, but I was still not in a good headspace when I met my husband.
Okay.
I did wait. He did reach out to me. To be honest, we've been knowing each other since I was 12. So he was my first boyfriend.
Oh, you spent the block.
I know.
Yeah, Shanti and Nelly.
I spent the block on a good one, okay? So I knew him, but he was married. Well, I thought he was married. And so he reached out to me on Facebook because I was looking for a workout partner. So he was like, I don't see why two single people can work out. I was like, well,
he's slick.
You
We see
single?
You use the squats to get her to squat.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. I hear the single part. You single? Okay. So,
That's funny.
But you know what I did?
What?
Even though he inboxed me, I did not reply. The first year, I didn't.
Wait, the first what?
The first year, I did not reply.
That man was talking to himself in your DM?
Yes.
Look, don't nobody take that as a sign to start stalking people because some of y'all be like, hey, hello, hearts. Hey, what's up, baby girl? You fine. And it's
Yes.
October 2023, 2026, 2028.
Stalking, I would say he was very persistent.
Okay, no wrong with a little persistence.
He was very persistent.
The first year.
The first year, okay? But I didn't because I was still going through my divorce. My baby was still 2 years old, and I was moving back home with my mom.
Okay.
So I felt like I was just not in a stable place to build something with him at the time because I knew what type of person he was. So I waited. And just a year, let's fast forward.
Ooh.
So I waited a whole year. My mom let me get myself together. She helped me raise. Shout out to my mom and my dad. Like, they was my biggest supporters. They took care of my daughter. My mom was like, you need to get your shit together. She was like, whatever you need to do to take care of this little one, do it. She gave me this book called The Secret Book. The Secret Book was the part of my light in my darkest moments, okay? And she always used to say, you know, believe this. She said, I can't relate to you in a divorce because me and your dad been together over 30 years. At the time, they was together over 30 years. She said, so I can't give you advice, but what I can give you is that you know that God is within you, so you know what you have to do. So get it together. So I did. I found a decent job. Started taking care of my daughter, and the time came back around. He was still persistent.
And let's add to the fact that she was a single mom going through it,
Yes.
heart still messed up, and I'm saying this because you know how y'all love to shame single mothers and try to tell us
Yes.
who don't want what and when and what ain't gonna happen.
Yes.
Testimony.
Okay,
But go
and
ahead.
please, 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 please listen to your kids, because honestly, my daughter picked my husband. Yes,
Let me find out. I'm taking my daughter to Starbucks as soon as we leave here. We going to Whole Foods. Baby girl, point them out when you see them, okay?
Yes.
Not
I
that
have
one.
to give, I got to give credit. My daughter, before I introduced her to Kevin, we went out on a few dates, and we rekindled some things, talked about, why we broke up. But the real reason we broke up was because my daddy was like, "You're 12, he's
I'm like,
14.
you was like 3 years old. You was
yeah.
in daycare.
He's 14, you're 12, you're out of here." But I was still sneaking him. Sorry, Dad. But anyways.
Fast tail little girl.
So my mom used to always tell me, anything that comes back around is meant to be. So a couple of weeks went by, we were talking. My daughter introduced them together, and my daughter said, "Hey, Dad." Wait, what? That's not your dad.
How old was she again?
She was about to turn 3.
God spoke to the baby. He said that one. She said,
I said, "That's not your daddy, baby."
she was like, shit. Fuck you thought.
I said, "This is Kevin." And she said, "Dad." And so he went along with it. He was like, "Yeah, this is my daughter." So we all had a date. So I met his kids, and his son just like stuck to me like glue. Like,
Blended family.
just stuck to me, and we are best. Like, that is my best friend. My son is my best friend. He's 22. He gave me a grandson, and my daughter, when she turned 14, she finally came around, and she was like, "Mom, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sorry for giving you a hard time, but this is the happiest I ever seen my dad." So right then and there, it was meant to be. And we've been married, baby, going on 10 years.
Come on. Come
Going
on now.
10 years
Yes.
in August. But this is what I want to say. I say all that to say this. Even in my darkest times, even when I was healing or thought I knew what healing was at that time, he was patient with me, okay? He seen red flags, and he stayed there. And it was times where I almost threw away the wedding. I was like, I can't do this. Like, I can't do this, because the love that he was giving me, I never had. And when you never had something, you don't know how to.
You don't know what to do with it.
You don't know what to do with it. But he showed me along the way. He was very patient, because I used to tell him, I would have been left. Like, why are you still here?
Were you trying to push him away? Do you
I
feel
wasn't.
like?
Not intentionally. I wasn't trying to push him away. It was just that I'm the type of person, I don't want people in my bullshit. I don't want to bring bullshit to you.
Right.
So when I was still, the divorce wasn't final. We were doing the back and forth with my daughter, taking my daughter there every weekend so she could see her dad and things like that. But when he seen that, he actually seen some of the trauma that I went through when he seen me drop off my daughter. So I guess he understood what I was going through, because he seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So he was there. He's broken in awe. He was there. He stayed. And then when we moved to Arizona and we was there for like 3 years, I decided to get therapy, and I didn't even tell him. For 2 years, I was getting therapy, and I wasn't ready to tell him. People would ask me all the time, "Why did you get therapy without your husband?" Because I feel that when you're going through something or you've been through something, you have your own individual shit that you need to fix, right? So you are still an individual when you are married. So you need to fix your stuff. So I wanted to fix me so I could be the better version for myself, for my kids, and my husband. So I think a year into therapy, he started seeing some changes, and he was like, "Baby," he was like, "I don't know what you doing," and I ended up telling him, and I said, "Look, I'm getting in therapy because my insecurities is getting bad. At that time, I had built anxiety, and I still was mourning of the loss of my brother. I wasn't getting over it, and I was getting angry. And when my brother passed away, I couldn't really mourn my feelings because I had to be there for my mom.
Ain't that tough when you can't even sit in your grief because you got to show up and be strong for everybody else?
Yes,
Man.
I had to show up for my mom, and I can't imagine losing a son. I get it, but then our body
Somebody needed to show up
for me.
for you.
Yeah.
And in turn, you turned around and you showing up for other people.
Yep, showing up for other people in the midst of my shit.
But at
You
what
know?
point do you stop and say, you know what? Like, was there ever a moment like where you was like, you know what? I can't carry this for you. I gotta put this down. I gotta deal with me right now.
With my mom?
Do you ever feel like you got the opportunity to truly mourn?
Yes, now. Last year.
Okay.
Yes, finally. I started speaking up about that part. Like, I gotta heal. It's not healthy. It's not healthy for me. It's not healthy for my husband to see me keep going through this on top of the stuff that I'm healing from a toxic relationship. Now, come on now.
That's a lot.
And me loving on being a bonus mom, loving on 2 bonus kids. And I'm like, how am I giving love when I'm not fully loving myself right now? So when I say that, when I look back and see the things that I went through on top of trying to be the best mother I can be, I was like, I did the damn thing, okay?
Okay.
My kids are thriving. My daughter is doing good. My husband, he just got promoted twice. He's Staff Sergeant Mills. Congratulations, baby.
Come on now.
I still showed up, but nobody was showing up for me. Like my cup was empty.
Right.
You know what I mean? So therapy was an outlet for me. Most people look at therapy as, okay, I'm gonna go and get healed. It's not. It's more to that. It's more than that. Just going to get healed, honey. For me, I can't speak for all, but for me, it was more than just getting healed. It was self-discovery, self-awareness, learning me again. Who was I before even becoming a mom or being in that toxic relationship or being a new wife? I had to figure out who I was. So my husband seen that change. I finally told him that I was getting therapy, and he started doing some things and elevating into like his personal things that he was going on. He lost his dad. He lost his brother to suicide. And he was like, I think I need some therapy. Okay, so I was like, if I can get my husband to see, the things that he needs to work out, I'm doing the damn thing.
But you admit that and I had a therapist that said she would not do couples therapy because I asked her to do it with somebody that ended up being trash. But she was like, I wouldn't do couples therapy on people that are not doing the work as individuals first. So it's interesting that you brought that up because sometimes people like to go to therapy in hopes that somebody else sees their flaws. Like, see what he doing? See, you need to work on this, but they're not looking at themselves.
Yeah, and you're not focusing on yourself. You're focusing on what's going on in your household, what's going on, and you always trying to put the blame. See, you got flaws, but then you're not focusing on yourself.
Right.
And I wanted to focus on me, on myself.
Yeah.
And then we could talk about couples therapy, right?
Right.
But I wasn't ashamed to say, I'm the problem.
And
I was the problem. I was, but when I say I was the problem, when you asked me, was I trying to push him away? And I told you I wasn't intentionally trying to push him away. It was just that I wasn't in that space of trusting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so you would blame him because of what went on in your past, and you would think he's doing it. So it wasn't like I was pushing him away. It was more like, if you don't trust me, why we here? You say you love me, but it's like a tug of war type of thing. So I was the problem.
Yeah.
So I had to fix that. And now that we are 3 years into therapy,
Oh.
yes. 3
Well, come on now.
years. Yes, 3 years into therapy. He's still not getting therapy. But I can definitely see the change. He's still the same person that I married. I mean, the same person that I knew. He just grew up to be a older Kevin. He always had a kind heart, but little did he know, as time was going on within our marriage, he was in a domestic violence relationship, and he didn't even know it.
You mean with you or
No,
with what he
his
went through?
ex-wife.
Because men don't really talk about, you know, because men do experience violence. We just don't talk about it because it's men. And 'cause I have women in my family that'll tee off on you in a heartbeat, bust you over the head with a Coke 45 bottle.
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes later, they back hugged up at the barbecue. And it's like,
He didn't.
he bleeding, auntie. But like sometimes.
He thought that it was arguing. He thought, that's what's supposed to go on in a marriage. And when I witnessed something when we went to go pick up the kids, I'm like, this is toxic, babe.
So y'all both saw what each other went through with the exes.
Yeah.
Do you get along with his ex?
Next question.
Moving. The way your face just got razor sharp. Look, if you ain't been in cuffs, you doing all right. If you, oh shit. Okay. Well, listen, you're doing the work on behalf of women that's been in situations. Let's just leave it.
I advocate for men too. But no, all jokes. I wasn't in handcuffs. We were cordial.
Okay,
and now that my kids are grown, it's gloves off. But
don't act like you got some sense, sis. I'm sure she got hands. I'm sure she does. Look,
no.
If you're doing the best you can with what you got, we gonna honor that.
Amen. Thank you.
We gonna honor that.
Yes.
Okay. So and this Lippy, by the way. So back to the business. So first of all, you find yourself this whole situation. You developed this beauty brand, even though you didn't wear makeup, and this was a good way of you pouring back into yourself and doing something you're passionate about. How has the business side been for you? While you're working on yourself, you're working on a business now.
Amazing. My business is my safe space. It's amazing. So after doing the work on me, and I'm still doing the work. So what I do with my lip gloss, if you pay attention, when you got my lip gloss, it has a number on it.
Yes, it does.
Yes. I do not name my lip glosses for a reason. Once you purchase a color from me, you name the lip gloss.
What?
And you tell the story behind the lip gloss. And you tell me, why did you pick that color? Why did you name that? Everything that comes with color has a story behind it.
No, I have them in the back. I got the red lip. Hold up. I gotta show this to them real quick.
Yes.
This is super dope. I'm sorry. This is ghetto, but
It's okay.
I'm a little hood, so he'll be fine. I'm a little hood girl, short and thick.
Listen, she's so silly.
Okay, so it's in this bag. So she got this lipstick, y'all. Boom. See?
Yes. Now we got something to talk about with this red.
This is, you'll notice there's like a lipstick. There's a gloss on one end and a lipstick on the other end, which is, first of all, really dope. And it's actually, I love a good red. Y'all used to seeing me with a red on. That's my signature color on this platform. But yeah, there's two different ends to it. It's number 10. So, 10 toes down. I'm going to name this 10 toes down because that's what it is. I stand on business. 10 toes down. So that's what I just named it for myself.
Yes.
10 toes down, in case you didn't hear me the first time. So, lipstick, lip gloss on one end. So, since you get to name your own lippy, mine is called 10 toes down.
Yes.
I stand on business.
Your own lippy.
I stand on business. So,
I love it.
I love that. So, we get to all tell our own story.
You get to tell your own story.
Name the lippy ourselves.
Because people ask me all the time, why you don't name your lip gloss? I said, can you look on the lipstick, please? And they look at the lipstick. They be like, well, I only see the number. I can refer off of that. I can go by the number. I know what color you got if you tell me the number. And so, yep, the number
is so cute, and it's a good solid lip. I went through 3 meals.
Yes.
If I can eat a burger, if I can drink some and my lip's still on there, that's a good product. Cause I don't care. I'm not trying to be cute, baby. I love food.
Thank you.
It is what it is.
Yes.
Dad, that saves. And that makes life easy for you too.
It does, but when I get so many customers, so back in the day where y'all used to put the names in like a little diary. What was that? Like the phone book.
Yes.
and you can look up the name and stuff.
Right.
So I got one of those. I got like a little phone book.
Oh.
And I write down every time somebody purchase a color or a number. And I might inbox you, I might email you and be like, hey, I see that you purchased from me. I see that you picked this number. Did you ever pick the color? So we get to have a conversation.
Okay, you building a real relationship with your
Yes.
clientele, because a
Yes.
lot of that is missing out here in these streets.
Oh,
Y'all
you
get
were
y'all
next.
order.
You were
Listen,
next.
I know. First of all, I already named this lip, so y'all heard it here. This is called 10 Toes Down, because I stand on business.
And what's the story behind 10 Toes Down?
When I make a decision, I stand on it. Like, that's just what it is. Even though I'm lying a little bit because I'm a Gemini, so it might change. I'm going to stand 10 toes down on whatever decision I make for the day. I am
Yes.
unmoved for 24 hours. That's what I'm going with. But it's a red lip. It's just it's a signature color for me. So, and it's duality. That's what I like. It's a gloss on one end and a lipstick on the other end. So, I
Yes.
mean, it will represent both of my sides. You don't know. I might be glossy today. It's
You
a lip
might be
tomorrow.
not.
I like to switch
Exactly.
up.
Yeah.
But whatever I switch up to, I'm standing 10 toes down on it. So the idea that you leave it to your clients to make that whatever it is they want it to be for them, it creates a certain, that's something I will
Open
remember.
up. It creates for you to open up a little bit instead of going into the story. You was in a domestic violence relationship. Well, what happened? That's uncomfortable conversation, right?
Yeah.
And where some people is not on that level of having uncomfortable conversations. So you want to make it as smooth and comfortable as possible for the people that's been through something. Even if you buy my gloss and you never been through anything, you still got a story to tell.
Right.
It could be about your job. It could be about being an entrepreneur. It could be about anything. We all have stories to tell.
We and speaking of which, I mean, you are a fairly new transplant in Dallas
Yes,
and a
I am.
business owner.
It's
How's
hard.
that? I was gonna say, how's that journey been?
It's, as I told you before, the struggle is real.
Let's talk about it.
It's very challenging to be a new face in a new state. It's almost like you have to prove yourself. It's a lot of competition out here. It's a lot of gatekeeping. You know, women feel like, and I don't know why, that it's going to take a gem out of your crown to just help the next, especially for somebody that's coming from a different state. Since I can't take your gym.
Yeah.
You up here, I'm down here. I'm trying to get up here. Teach me. So
It's
been
hard
very,
for transplants.
It is.
Yeah.
But guess what? I'm here.
Do you feel like I was going to ask, do you feel like you've been welcomed by other women that have cosmetic brands as you network, and like, what has that experience been like for you?
Actually, yes. Surprisingly, I have. Like, we support each other when it comes. Just a couple of weeks ago, a lady reached out to me and she was like, "Do you have this blue color?" And I'm like, "No, but I know someone." You know, we refer each other. And she was really surprised, and that's why I say it's a lot of gatekeeping out here, because she was going to go to Amazon and purchase. She said, "You really was going to refer me to somebody else?" And I said, "Why not? We don't attract the same people. Just because
This is true.
Just because we sell the same thing, we don't attract the same people. So why? Why I can't refer you to someone else?"
And your story is a big part of it too. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm somebody that's been, I'm a domestic violence survivor.
Yes.
So I know that somebody that's a domestic violence survivor has a beauty brand, but she also holds speaking engagements and events. I'm more liable to buy from you just because of that personal connection. I think people forget
Right.
that personal connections are important. So like you said about competition, nobody, in my opinion, I know the friendly competition, that's cool. Everybody wants to be the
Right.
best.
Yes.
However, if we do all of this like it's black girl magic, I want my sisters to win, I think that's a very popular thing to say. But when we start to peel it back, people don't always walk that walk.
You always say it again.
You don't, because you want people to behave a certain way in order for you to let them in. I
Right.
don't care for that, because if the mantra is we want to see each other win,
I should be myself.
I should be able to be myself, but you shouldn't see my presence as a threat.
Right. That part.
Because the way I see it, if I make it to the top, I don't want to be up there by myself. I need you up here. I need somebody that can relate to my journey. I need somebody that understands what I'm going through, that I can call and bounce ideas off of.
Right.
When I'm at a low point, you understand that low point because you've been there, because we're striving for the same things. So
And we don't
What's
have
the
to
problem?
always be in line with each other, because even if we're not aligned with each other, you might have something that a next person need. Oh, hey, I can't help you, but I know somebody that can. And I haven't had that since I've been here.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
So my thing is, as an entrepreneur, I always say this: we know our problems as an entrepreneur. We must find our own solutions. Create your own solutions as
Yeah.
a business owner. You're not going to always get help. You're not going to always get referred. So you have to create your own solution, sis. That should not stop you. If people don't want to support and help you pull you back, that's okay. I get it. Everybody wanna shine. I get that and I respect that too.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna uplift and empower people, then do just that. Don't say it because it's cute.
Well, don't say it because it's cute, because eventually you're gonna be found out. I'm just when you ain't about when you ain't really about it, it's going to come out. I think that when you put out good energy and you genuinely want to connect and you want to help people, I think it comes back to you, to
It
be
does.
honest. Because even if you can't buy from me or you don't want to work with me, if I refer you to somebody, now you see me as a connector. So I know that she is somebody that probably knows somebody, and she ain't afraid to share resources. Now, don't get that confused with being entitled to resources. Some of y'all don't be wanting to put in work, and you just want folks to give you stuff, and you have not proven yourself to be somebody that's gonna grind. Ain't nobody trying to mess up no connections, just giving you stuff and you lazy, because now they look bad signing off on you. So at the same time, you do need to be putting in work for your craft or your product, your business, or whatever it is you got going on, and put out good services for people to actually want to share resources. So there's that side we don't talk about. Don't be looking for nobody to compromise, and you're terrible.
And when you speak on it, I sponsor a lot of people.
You sponsor?
I don't mind. It's not about, when I started my business, it wasn't about the money. It was about showing women that you can be successful after a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
And instead of being in that pain, turn it into power. That was my whole mission. It still is my mission. I don't have no problem with sponsoring people. Girl, I lost money. I lost money more than making money when I first started. And I've been in business for 5 years, and I'm just now seeing the fruits of my labor.
They say about 5 to 7 years. Yeah.
I'm just now seeing the fruits of my labor. But my mission as an entrepreneur, as a beauty brand, and as an author is to just bring women to their comfortable level, to meet them where they're at. And for me, I didn't like beauty, but I started liking beauty because it was more like that was my foundation to create my platform.
Yeah.
To make women feel comfortable. And that's how I put the two together. You create your own color. You name it. You get back to me. Sis, we're writing your story. We're going to talk about your story. So I made something for everybody, the ones that are able to speak up and the ones that just want to write it down. That's why I created this.
Let's talk about this.
The strength to walk away is wisdom.
Come on.
It's a journal. It's a self-awareness, self-discovery, personal growth journal. It tells you different things about mindset, a growth mindset. You have to be able to change your mindset in order to move forward in life. You can't be stuck with the same mindset. So it's just not a journal. It has questions in here that my therapist will ask me. And it's just to help you to see, are you walking in your authentic self? Are you being the person that you truly want to become? Or are you still stuck in that situation or still stuck in that mindset that's holding you back to be your authentic self?
So I have a question. When you have events and women are comfortable talking about their situation, because again, you said that you were still healing.
Yes.
How do you balance not taking in so much of other people's trauma to where it impacts you? Like, how do you navigate that without, because I know sometimes people can listen to folks' stories and before you know it, you took on all this energy and now you're depressed.
So
how do you do it?
Are you saying more like triggered?
Yeah, like do you ever get triggered when people sharing their stories?
I don't get triggered because I learned how to maintain my triggers being around other people. And everybody's triggers are different. I am an empath.
Okay.
So after I hear I can't hear too many stories, but after I hear that girl, I just go home and light my candles.
So I was gonna say, how do you go home
I
after an
go
event?
home, I light my candles, and I pray. I pray, I meditate, and I just have a moment with God because I'm so amazed at, even with my story, it's other people that been through much worse than I've been through.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand why they don't want to talk about that story, but when they get to that position to talk about it, it's so overwhelming. And being an empath, it's just, I be like, whoa, like my anxiety get like, whoa, and I have to take a breath. But when I'm in public and I hear people's story, I'm pretty good at it because I know how to. I'm in that place of my healing journey that I know how to maintain my triggers without being triggered. And then when I get home, because I don't want that energy in my home, light my candles, go in the room, I meditate and I pray.
Right. Right. So how does
Yes.
that, when let's just say when somebody opens up and tells everything, right? One of the things I had to tell myself, because I know there's just some things I can't handle, I'm always cautious, like, okay, if I get you to open up and say X, Y, Z, and you share something very triggering, then what? Because now we open up some wounds. Do you ever feel a responsibility to give people like actionable, like tools? Because sometimes somebody may not know they're going to share their story. Then once they open up and they crying and all of this, now we didn't open up this wound. What do we do now to where I don't want you to just tell your story, but what am I going to do to support you afterwards? Do you feel
I always ask them what is the safety tools or the precautions that they take when they get ready to tell their story. Because it's not always about the person that you're telling the story with that get triggered and feel a certain way. It's the person that's telling their story that get triggered and feel a certain way.
Right, that's what I mean. So once
Yeah.
they triggered in talking about it, what do we do then? Like, because once everybody, the tears and stuff is flowing.
You cry with them. You want to be not, what's the word I'm looking for? Not sensitive. It's another word I'm looking for. But you want them to know that you understand what they're going through.
Empathetic. Yeah.
Empathetic. Thank you. You want to be empathetic. So you want to show that you care. It's okay to cry. Everybody's feelings is valid. That's number one.
Yeah.
What you going through, you definitely want to let them know that their feelings are valid. And it's okay to cry. My thing is when a person tell their story and they get the crying, that's a breakthrough, honestly.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when people tell their story, they get angry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They get
Right.
angry and they get mad and you can hear it. But when people start telling their story and they start showing the emotions behind that, that's another form of healing. You're starting to talk about your stuff and you getting emotional about it because now you're here and you're talking about it. But most people, when they tell their story, you can pretty much pick up what they're feeling.
Right.
And most of the time they be angry.
Yeah.
So, but I really don't have a tool for people when they tell their story. My tool is just to be, like you said, empathetic about it. Cry with them.
Yeah.
Let them know that their feelings are valid. Let them know that they are important. Main thing, because some people that's been through things don't think they're important. They think they don't have value in this life.
Yeah, it's crazy how something
crazy.
that happened to you at the hands of somebody else, reckless and unhealed, can make you feel like you less than.
Yeah.
I think that's just wild to me. But ultimately, I think in our community, talking about mental health is so taboo that a lot of people that need to get help ain't getting it. And sometimes these people that ain't got no faith either, they just out here just raw dogging life, just
Yeah.
spewing venom and just violence everywhere.
And you got to be mindful, and go back to, you said triggering people. You have to be mindful too. When somebody tells you their story, you have to be very mindful of what you say. You don't want to say anything that would even trigger them more within that moment. For example,
Yeah.
girl, you crying, you should have been left.
And this is
Girl, you getting...
And that's why some
you
women
stupid.
are very apprehensive
Yes.
about things like women empowerment events, because when you come into a space, you don't know who else in that room.
Yes.
So you're coming into a situation where you potentially telling your story, but you don't know the intentions of everybody in the room. So this is another reason why sometimes people don't want to tell their stories, because I don't know these people. I don't know who got their phone out recording.
Yeah.
I don't know who might know my ex or who might. So it's always, I've learned, very risky in certain rooms for people to be vulnerable just because you don't know.
Every room that you
aftermath.
notice, every room that you walk in is not always a safe space.
Right.
So you have to be careful.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And like I say, when people tell their story, the person that they're telling the story to, that person have to be mindful of what come out their mouth.
Girl,
Because
look.
guess what? You might be triggering them even more. So you just, sometimes it's just honestly to shut up and let them vent.
Sometimes the best support is
No
rub.
words.
Listen, be present and don't say nothing.
No words. Be present and let them, because that's what they mainly want.
Right.
Is for you to listen and hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
So the best advice that I can give to that is just listen, sis. Don't say nothing. Because they've been wanting to vent for a long time.
A long time. And shout out to you for even giving that space. 'Cause that's a heavy.
It is.
That's a burden, and that is a big responsibility to invite women to open up.
But not
like
just
that.
not just women, men too. We have created spaces for men. My husband just shared his story about his domestic violence situation, and I just interviewed a guy. So now I'm seeing more men being vulnerable and being able to talk about their story and what they've been through domestic violence too. So we just don't advocate for women; we advocate for men too.
You better come on now with the duality and taking care of the community as a whole. So,
And I say all the time, I'm still not healed. But what I'm learning, I share it with my domestic violence community.
I think people need to understand, like, healing is really a journey. It's
process.
not really a destination. I think people like, I'm healed.
No.
Sometimes it ain't that you healed. You just ain't had nobody trigger you yet. You ain't been tested.
I
If
was
you
just
in the
gonna say
house
that.
all the time, it ain't healed. You don't fool with nobody.
The best way you know
don't deal
that
with people.
The best way that you know that you're healed from something is when somebody do something to you and it takes you back to what happened to you in your past. You will know, because you will know that it can't trigger you, that you know how to maintain that trigger. But it's
Yeah.
a lot of people don't. I still get triggered a little bit. You know, my daughter can say something and she's only 13 and I'll be like, okay,
Girl.
don't say that. And she'd be like, Mommy, why? And I'll be like, because you just triggered me. But I come to a place where I don't yell. You know how you get, when somebody trigger you, you be like, tight.
Girl, listen.
You get tightened up. And I've gotten better with that.
Understanding that folks are not responsible for our triggers.
Yes. Or don't tippy toe.
Right.
I'm not tiptoeing around nobody triggers, because I'm going to say it again, I'm not tiptoeing around nobody triggers because I don't expect nobody to tiptoe around my triggers. You don't even know what my triggers is. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You don't even know. I don't know what your triggers is.
Right.
You know, but guess what? That's why we need to set boundaries. We need to learn how to set boundaries. A lot of people say they set boundaries, but they don't stick to those boundaries.
Well, some of us just out here linking up with any and everybody. Like I said, I said this in an episode we just recorded, that everybody thinks they have friends. Sometimes you have people that you just go drink with or you kick it with, you go to brunch with, but y'all don't know each other on an intimate level. Like, we're not opening up to people to develop like genuine friendships, relationships with anybody. So when somebody say the wrong thing, you popping off and writing paragraphs on Instagram or Facebook. These people don't know you. They don't know nothing about you, your past and what you've been through. So we find these buzzwords, and we take them and run with them. Like, yeah, it's not trigger or it's toxic. No. Get off social media and get off your phone sometimes and start interacting with humans in a real way, so you can learn how to communicate and have real relationships.
And we quick to cut people off because we don't want to have those uncomfortable conversations, okay? So we quick to be like, I'm done with her. I ain't got nothing else to say, because guess what? We don't want to have those.
It's me. I'm working on that, y'all. Listen, I'm working on that. I have no problem putting myself in a hot seat, because when you go through so many things by yourself, when you get through some of the worst moments of your life alone, it's very easy to cut people off because you're not really used to folks showing up for you anyways.
Right.
So the fact that I've not had consistent I haven't had people show up in the ways that I show up for them. It's very easy for me to go, okay, this chapter is done. Sometimes a chapter, it ain't really done. Y'all just need to talk about some shit, bitch. Calm your angry ass down. Call the girl back and tell her that shit hurt your feelings with your strong ass. I don't always.
And it's been a
I'm not
couple of
good
times.
at it. I suck.
Yeah, and it's been a couple of times I call people and be like, "Hey, that kind of hurted my feelings," but you know they not ready to have that conversation. But at least I know I can walk away and I said, "Listen, for the miscommunication, I called to try to have that communication. It wasn't. Then I go on Facebook and I see some subliminal messages.
Man, y'all got man. Why do y'all do that? Stop doing that shit. Not you wrote a whole paragraph and I'm 2 people away.
People will trigger you on
The
purpose.
hell is you? Yes, and I've done it too, though.
Negative reaction.
Look, let me quit lying. When I know you have an issue with me, my thing is I'm petty. I'm gonna play along with it, and so again something I'm working on. But y'all doing these long subliminal paragraphs, and then you don't use punctuations. So if you gonna diss me, at least use periods and commas.
Wait, I'm guilty of that.
You have an iPhone. It comes with spell check. What do you mean? There.
But
Am I R or is it ownership? Like, if you gonna diss me, do it right. But we gotta stop the subliminals because I block.
Me too. Oh,
You block?
People will tell you that I
Blockiana.
am the blocking queen. Okay,
I'm block it.
I will block you. I heard a pastor say,
block.
He's my favorite pastor. My favorite pastor. I love Pastor.
To look over and see. Wait, who is Pastor Mike?
Pastor Mike Jr.
Do he lead with feelings?
Wait,
is he one of them hater? Your hater make your hater
feelings.
greater. Is it, your haters in greater season. What did he say?
He said, "Listen, we ain't got time to be blocking people. We want people to see what we doing. Okay." They want to see that you leveling up because you blocking people. They ain't gonna be able to know that you leveling up.
I ain't gonna hold you, Pastor. I disagree wholeheartedly. And here's the thing: I'm not keeping that. I don't want that kind of energy having access to me. I will block you. I don't. You gonna hear about it? You gonna follow from your fake page? You probably got 3 fake pages. I
post about it too. And I was
bye.
I like blocking people.
I love to.
I do because I don't want that in my energy.
Would you just let anybody in your house?
No, ma'am.
I mean, would you just leave the blinds open and let them watch because you want them to see how good your steak and eggs is? No. If I'm gonna close the door, I want to close the door. I don't want people that potentially wish harm on me to watch me. I don't want you watching my child.
Yes.
I just don't. I'm sorry, baby. I'm getting old.
I agree with you.
I ain't got time.
I agree
Get the
with
fuck
you.
home. I still hit people.
What's
no.
You can ask my daughter. My favorite word is.
I still swing.
My favorite word is I ain't got time.
My whole martial arts, mom. Don't do that to
have time.
yourself, babe. Don't do it. I still got the sword in the trunk. What we talking about? But I mean, it's a complicated thing. And even as a business owner, because you have to be very careful how you present yourself. Yeah. So then there's that part. Like, how do you balance that when somebody try you?
Listen, I'm still me. I'm not going to change because I have a business. If you don't like me, you just don't like me. But I'm going to stand my ground. Just because I'm a business owner don't mean I'm a cutthroat of what I got to say. No, my mama always told me that you can disrespect people in the most respectful way. And I learned how to do that.
That's that tongue lashing. I'm going to cut you with 3 words and proper punctuation marks.
Yes. Yes.
Periods and commas over here.
I did it yesterday. People will trigger you on purpose to get a negative reaction.
You know what I learned?
Since we ain't got time for this.
Sometimes I think this is what I've had to learn. When you understand there's value in your smoke, you don't give it to everybody. Because I'm somebody that likes to, I'm not going to say I like to argue, but if you come at me, I'm coming back. But when I figured out some people will intentionally try you because it means something. There's currency in getting you out of character. And everybody don't deserve it.
Yep. And they'll use that against you.
And then
because you are a business owner, so they want other people
trying to figure out a way
to
so you got to be careful that there are some people that have an assignment to get you out of character. So you got to be real careful in responding to people. So it's a journey, y'all. We all still growing, ain't we?
Healing is until the day you die. I'm sorry. It's a process. It's not something, I'm healed. No, baby. Nope. You learn something new about yourself every day.
Yeah.
Okay. So healing is a journey.
It is. But what's going? What you gotta let everybody know what's up next. What events we got coming up?
Sneaker Boy.
Tell her about the sneaker ball.
So the sneaker ball is October 19th. It's a black sparkly dresses. So it's black and purple. Yep.
Okay.
Black and purple. And it's to bring awareness to domestic violence. So victim and survivors can be heard and seen. It's a night for them to shine. It's a night for them, if they want to share their story, they can. We're going to have vendors there. And hopefully the Dirty Bag podcast. Because listen, I forgot to put the dirty bag. I just said the dirty
Look,
podcast.
they can call me dirt bag. Y'all done call me every sleazy damn thing in the book. Y'all be playing off my top, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yes. But it's to bring awareness. It's one of my events that I do every year. I do something. It's either a kickball, sneaker ball. This is our second sneaker ball. Last year we had 60 people that attend, and this year we are expecting 120 people
Come on, Grove.
to attend.
Yes.
So I've been traveling.
Listen, when you trying to put on an event, I shout out to all the event planners. For real. I know.
Pray for us.
Pray for them. But tell everybody where to find you so we know
You
where
can
to...
find me on GGK Lipstick Diary Texas on Instagram. On Facebook, my name is Shawna GGK Mills. Okay? Now listen, my husband coming home, y'all. I'm a military wife too. He'll be home in a couple of weeks now. If you try to find me, I'm not available for at least a month. Know that.
She gonna be getting her cup filled in something else. She due to get her kidneys flipped. Scramble like some eggs.
So please don't take offense to it.
It's okay. It's all right. Listen, we love to see it. Love that you doing work. You trying to working on the outer beauty and the inner spirit.
Yes.
We here for all of that. So
you got more lip glosses. You don't just have that one. So you got to name all of them.
I do. This one just, 10 toes down just makes sense though. So I'm going to rock with that. And again, y'all see my lip.
Yeah.
You see, I don't know what we're going to do with this one yet.
So know that since you name your lipstick, right? So we're coming out with a book called, what is it called again, baby?
Not you got to ask your daughter.
Oh yeah, because
she just want her Starbucks. She ain't
the
got
burn
time.
book. The burn book.
Like Mean Girls?
Burn book lipstick edition. Okay, you're gonna be able to tell your story.
Girl, first of all, I ain't had none in a minute, so you got to watch your words.
Thank you. It's to burn your past and let your present. So anybody that share their story will be placed in that burn book, and we will share it at the sneaker ball October 19th. So
I done talked enough. You better go back to
get
season
ready.
one with that bull.
We got a lot coming out. We doing a lot.
As you should. Booked and busy and beautiful. But thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
Come on now, y'all. Get your lip. You see how good I look? I can snatch your daddy. So get your lippy. He's your single daddies. I'm not trying to. I don't fight moms. But thanks for joining us today, guys. Whatever we got going on, as always, wear your mask, wash your hands, socially distance. And when you get a free moment, please remember to clean out your dirty bag. Till next time.
Well, darling, there's only one God. Darling, there's only